Hey guys, welcome back to another stream. How is everyone? How's everyone doing? Beginning of this week. I haven't traded yet. I haven't opened any trade yet so far. Been busy with some other stuff. Haven't really looked at the market with time to look for trades. I can see that the dollar has done what we talked about last Saturday during the weekly analysis stream. So I do 2 streams per week, one on Tuesday. Today is more educational, so feel free to ask any topic, a question about any topic, about price action, whatever. Or if you want me to take a look at any specific chart, feel free to mention in the chat. Yes, and then on Saturday is my weekly analysis where I go through the different assets, from currencies to indices, a little bit of crypto, just to do my prediction for the week ahead, right? And that was the prediction. So I was bearish on the dollar. I was expecting the dollar to go further down, especially after this move that we had on Friday. Strong move up and then the rejection, right? I mentioned also that for me there's even a little bit more space that price can go there, but that could be just for the future now. In theory, that space in there could have been filled with this move. It didn't really. We just fake out that high and move to downside. For me, it was something that I was looking for, especially after the break of this all these lows in here. Question mark could be where from. From here, I think I mentioned this level, but then that's when I was looking at the 4-hour time frame, because you don't really see it. But however, on the 1 hour and 30 minutes, you can see that price had already reacted from this level even on Friday, and then we still managed to open with a big move to downside. Price can overtest this demand, but this level had already been touched in here, the retest of these lows in there, so expecting price to go slightly higher before maybe the continuation to the downside. That was a valid option, right? So, and that's kind of what occurred. We literally went a little bit closer to the base of this week in here, and after that we had the move to the downside on dollar, which was mostly made in the last few hours, right? Around around 12, around the US Open, basically. We had that big move, weaker dollar, and the move to the upside on the euro, and so on and so forth, right? Even on the indices as well. So this is actually a natural move on price when we are looking for some trend continuation. You will see price doing this move quite often, which is price breaks lows, kind of, right? We kind of have the information that price most likely wants to continue to go further down. At this point, price initially retraces around the middle of this move, comparing from these lows to the other highs, but eventually is going to continue to go down if we have that extra confirmation, right? So for example, in this case, we did break these lows. And the normal move that price does when it continues like this is exactly this, right? It's accumulation of highs and close. Like it creates a little bit of a few highs close to each other. It's going to attract many sellers to look for that trend continuation, right? They can see the same. They can see that price literally rejected the highs. It managed to break new lows, so they will be looking for some kind of trend continuation setups. But what will happen more often than not is exactly this kind of move, which is we have a few highs in here created in the middle. We even managed to create a new low in there, but then this last move is going to occur. That last fake out to take kind of the liquidity that is created within these highs. are above this size, right? For example, for me, there could be a chance. At this point, I'm always concerned with this. That's why I struggle a little bit with trend continuation setups. However, if I'm about to take one, I will try to wait as much as possible for this fake out to happen. It's kind of entering on the right side of this U move in here. This it's not drawing properly. This move, right? If you enter kind of on the left side, more often than not you are going to be faked out. But if you enter then on the right side of the move, regardless of how good your entry is, you can even have a bad entry on the right side, and most likely you are going to still manage to have a winning trade. Depending on the risk reward, that will depend a little bit on the entry. While in here, or as good as your entry can be, there's the high probability that you're going to have a loss because you're going to be faked out. I could still consider shorting the first time that price retests this level, which would be in here. In this moment, I could still maybe consider the short when price creates this high in here. The downside, however, if I have just one high, I could still consider looking for a short whenever price retraces there. If by any chance I already see a double top in there, there's no chance I'll be looking for another sell. So no chance I'll be looking for a sell in here. I'll be actually waiting then for that fake out to happen. That's kind of how I approach this kind of setups. And yes, as soon as you see this fake out, especially if price managed to touch some level in there, even if it doesn't touch the perfect zone, more often than not, if you see some level being broken somewhere in here, you're ready to trade. And more often than not, what you can do is actually almost extend this line, and you're going to find some kind of entry in alignment with this level in here, to continue to look for a short. So any trade you take on the left side, there's a risk for that fake out. Any trade you take on the right side, even if it is a bad entry, more often than not, you're going to manage to win the trade. Again, it depends on where price is reacting from, right? It depends on the overall story of where price is coming from and where it wants to go, all these setups. But this is a normal pattern that you'll see occurring as a trend continuation. Create a little bit of a 1-2 double top in there. I have the fake out, and then price is free to move. To move in there. Not exactly the same, but you can see maybe in there as well. Can you draw it? Sense. Yeah, not exactly the same, but you do have kind of this double wall in there and then a fake out. But you can see, you'll find some examples like this all over the place. This is on the 30 minutes. You can even find it on the lower time frame as price is evolving. Anytime you look for that trend continuation setup. Yeah, and this usually originates that common sentence that every trader has used, every student of the market has used, which is, yes, I was correct on my direction and my analysis. However, just got faked out for a little bit, and then price just moved into direction that I wanted. Right? That's usually one of those scenarios when you see traders or learners or students of the market kind of using that sentence. So yes. Dollar, it moved, it's getting close. So this was one of the first one of the targets that I'll be aiming. I mentioned that on Saturday, maybe the retest of this level. However, anywhere below these walls, I wouldn't be surprised if price could have some kind of reaction to the upside. I'm not sure if it already took that or not today. Yeah, I think it just did, right? So it just did a little bit. Yeah, anywhere below this wall could be some reaction to the upside. However, the final target for me, it's still somewhere closer to this demand. And as I mentioned as well, the last few weeks. This low itself, it may be already an engulf of these lows and even of this level of structure. So I wouldn't be surprised if price actually starts going further down. But some reaction from these lows could be something to be expected for a moment, and then eventually the dollar could continue just to go further down. That's what I mentioned last Saturday, and that's what I've been waiting for. Actually, I've been mentioning this move since price had retraced to the upside from here. I've been waiting for this since mid of October, right? Even during the CPI data when you had in there. Yeah, that's mostly it. There may be some opportunities in here to look for more trend continuation setups to the downside. Yeah, in the end, the dollar could continue to go further down. Yeah. If we look at the indices, right? So S&P had broken these highs. It was some important highs that we had in there. We mentioned that as well, that initially we kind of had this supply level that price respected, then eventually price broke it. Nasdaq was still trading a little bit underneath that level. I think Nasdaq at this point is reacting from this high, so it hasn't broken those highs. However, I think Nasdaq eventually is going to follow S&P and it's going to break it. The key level now it's going to be this previous zone of support, and we do have this supply in here that was created during the previous FOMC meeting on the 21st of September. So this can be an important level. There was a lot of manipulation created in here because first price went down. If you remember that the move in there, price first went down, then it went up, it fake out these lows in here, and then it moved downside. It just came here to react from this supply. There's even maybe a kind of a Quasimodo pattern aligned with this level, which is also aligned with this level of support resistance in there. So this could be maybe a good zone to see some reaction happening from on S&P. Tonight, I think after hours you're going to have some big earnings from, I think, Microsoft, Alphabet, which is kind of Google, and some others. I think they are going to happen later on after hours. So this week it's going to be full of earnings. It's going to be the earnings season is on, so that usually affects as well. You saw that in Q2 already around June, July, when I had the rally on the indices. So maybe at this point that's a big factor to push these indices to the upside. Because on the other hand, for example, yesterday it was a full day with PMI data coming out, manufacturing services, and we saw the contraction, right? Negative numbers below 50, basically across all countries, Europe, UK, and the US in this case. So you can see how the economy is slowing down. However, you can see the indices going up in this case. Yeah, sometimes you have that disparity. So this is the S&P. For sure, there's going to be some opportunities to look for trend continuation setups, more trend continuation. So let's see what's going to happen in here. I think we mentioned that one on Saturday, and this one in here. Eventually, price can retrace, have some kind of reaction from there, and eventually go higher. This is the Nasdaq, as I mentioned. It's still respecting this high in here. Eventually have that one, so it's a little bit lagging, but there's room more to the upside. Nice reaction from there. It broke it, so yeah, it leaves this demand now in here. Let's see when it's going to react from there, and eventually it's going to break. I imagine eventually it's going to break this high in there. On the other hand, it's leaving some demands behind, so it's going to be interesting eventually when the index is going to come back. Maybe a few levels that price can react from. So this was the other level. This one is a little bit underneath. Let's see. Let's see if eventually it's going to reach to that zone as well. Bigger picture. I like a little bit more where indices are reacting from at this point. I mentioned already that, especially on the S&P, when I showed that image end of January, when I draw the compression levels, and that's exactly where the low on S&P reacted from. It just finished the compression zone and it turned. Usually you see that happening quite often. So yeah, eventually maybe this high from COVID could be a target. However, let's see what's going to happen in here. Yeah, breaking out this high and then maybe turning down. We will see. This Euro index, something that we have been mentioning. Oh, there you go. It's close to it, right? It was not that close this morning when I analyzed it. It was actually turning to the downside, and there you go, right? So we talked about this one as well. So expecting this Euro strength. I've been bullish on that scenario since I saw this break to the upside of this high. For me, this was an engulf up, as I mentioned. So question mark it will be from where price would in theory resume the move to the upside, right? It could go all the way back to the downside. It could react maybe initially it even reacted from there, maybe just below this low, or eventually it just reacted from all this value in there and you had this fresh demand. And there you go. There was still orders in there, price reacted, and eventually now it broke to the upside, right? So, and it just filled the space. So this was the space basically that I was looking forward to for price to fill, basically from these lows, from these highs towards that lows. And it doesn't mean that price will pause in there. There's maybe some supply in there, and if price continues to evolve, there's even the potential to go a little bit higher. This can look like a compression. There's for sure some supplies above that level. I don't really think that all these supplies have been picked up on the way down, sorry. However, this kind of could be the scenario. If price does break above this high, there is the potential for price eventually to get closer to this one. Oh, but there you go. It's another one being engulfing there. If you are aware of this, and even if you don't really realize that maybe on the euro you notice that maybe there's another scenario to go higher, like for example euro dollar, but you can use this information from this euro index the same way that you can maybe use some information from the dollar index, and you cross connect those informations, right? The information that you gather from one and use it on the other one. That's a way to, at least that's how I analyze it. Try to connect information that I gather from different assets pairs that, of course, they are correlated with ones that I look for. So that's one of them. There you go. Euro index, sorry, finally. Hey Jeff, how are you, man? Welcome to the stream. How are you doing, man? Is it your first time? Let me know if you have any questions about the market. If you want me to take a look at any pair, I can look at it. So yeah, Euro index potential to go a little bit higher, at least to test maybe that supply. Looking a little bit backwards to the left side. Yeah, we do have this support resistance in here. Aside from that, there's maybe something in there. Let me take a look at the daily. Yeah, man, welcome to the stream. Do you also trade? Like, what markets do you usually look for? From this coast, you are in the US? Yeah, usually I'm more focused on Forex, to be honest. Trade indices, nice. Just a major, like S&P, Nasdaq, and so on, or DAX maybe? Which ones? Yeah, indices and forex. Yeah, nice. Yeah, during this year I started to pay a little bit more attention to the indices, to analyze them. I don't really trade them, but I like the way it moves. I like the way it moves, and I can see some good opportunities in there. I just don't like the opening. The opening's a little bit crazy, which kind of maybe takes me out from if I was interested in trading the opening, it would be a little bit tricky. I prefer to trade forex in that aspect. You like to trade a little bit of everything. That's nice. That's good. Yeah, that's good. What is your bias for now? Do you expect the indices to continue to go higher in the next few days? That's that. Yeah, I trade mostly forex. I do open a few trades on gold as well when I find good opportunities. Yeah, mostly forex and gold. That's kind of where I trade the most. I take a look at oil as well every once in a while. Indices, I follow them on a regular basis, but I don't really trade them. And crypto as well. Like, I haven't traded crypto mostly Bitcoin and Ethereum. That's the two pairs, that's two coins that I pay attention to. But until it goes away from this range market, I'm not even spending any time. Day trader or scalper? Yeah, that's a good question. I'm not a scalper. I'm definitely not considering me a scalper. However, I do look at 10-second charts to even look for execution trades. But I go from the higher time frame. I like to have my bias on the higher time frame, and then look for. So I'm a counter trend trader, so I'm a reversal trader. Every now and then I do open some trend continuation setups. But yes, I do like to look for higher time frame levels, and then when price gets there, I go into the lower time frame to look for some confirmation, the approach, to identify the level. So even though, for example, I'm looking at this daily time frame, the way I would look at this one, I would go per hour, 1 hour, 30 minutes, even 1 minute time frame inside here to actually try to find out the precise zone where I'm expecting price to react from. So I would go that and like 1 minute time frame to actually fine tune the zone to see if it is fresh or not, and then I would wait for the approach as well. On the approach as well, I'll be looking for low time frame confirmation in there, and then I'm actually even looking for the 10 seconds chart to see when most likely is the last demand that has been taken, and then I'll try to look for the reversal. Yeah, reversal trader. Yeah. Sometimes I wish I was more trend continuation, to be honest, especially when you see kind of price just moving in one direction, but I kind of struggle. And I had to create my own rules to avoid some trend continuation trades in those days, right? Because anytime, imagine that you create a high, imagine as price is moving upwards. Yeah, imagine as price is moving to the upside on the trading day, right? Anytime it creates a high and it is a small retrace, in the past maybe I would be looking for a sell already in here, and then price eventually just create a new high, and it would just continue like that over and over and over. And in days like this, I would be kind of losing 2, 3, 4 trades in a row. Just nonsense, right? Just because of that nature of counter trend trader. When if I was just kind of flipping, just looking for longs, I would be better off. However, I still struggle to actually flip it and go long. What I did was actually to start implementing rules to stop looking for trades in here. I would actually just wait if I identify those kind of days, and I would just wait for price to actually reach maybe some important zone on the left side, some important level of structure, and then yes, and then I would, until price gets there, I wouldn't even look for that counter trend trade. I'll wait for that to happen, and that kind of helps me out. It helped me a lot to stop avoiding and giving my money back on these kind of days. It would be quite frustrating, to be honest with you. Yeah, just implementing rules to make sure that your weaknesses are kind of covered. Yeah. So you have long bias on the indices, right? Yeah. I can see that happening. I'm curious to see on the S&P, for example, how price is going to behave around this 3,884. I'm going to be curious about that. And I do have this trend line in here. I don't really trade trend lines, but I'm going to be curious to see how that happens. I mentioned that already, how that high on the left side, how price kind of, where did price reacted from this low. So that was done, and I like how this, I like this moving here. I like already that we had this low, that we had a few other lows in there. That's enough liquidity for price to kind of reverse. Just broke this high as well, so it's nice. I could see a little bit more move to the upside as well. I've been in trading for a long time, and yeah, in the past it was just it was myself. I had some maybe friends. Initially I was trading harmonic patterns that I learned with another educator, trading educator, something like that. Eventually I went from that. It was kind of just trading harmonic patterns, which you build them with Fibonacci's and so on, and I used to have some RSI indicators on my charts until I started looking for I discover kind of naked price action, right? And that was a big transition in my trading. Yeah, it was basically with RTM, read the market. If I don't know if you know them or whatever. Yeah, it was providing content for free. You could find him on Forex Factory. He used to have a blog for free. Now I think you pay for it. He has a really expensive course as well. Whatever. I spent a few years with them, and then eventually I just continued on my own. Yeah, it was enough knowledge that I acquired from all of that. Yeah, those patterns, Gartway, Cypher, Bath, yeah, all those harmonic patterns. His name, I think it was If Mayet. I don't really know. How to pronounce his name. Just If. That's how kind of is known. You just Google read the market and you'll find out who he is. Yeah, I learned mostly from it. It took a while until the puzzle kind of clicked, and once the puzzle clicked, everything became easier. But then it's, of course, it's the work that you need to do inwards to achieve consistency. That's kind of the work that you need to do yourself. No one is going to do that for you, regardless of where you learn about trading. Yeah, let's take a look at a little bit of the major FX. Yeah. Yeah, so this is $0. Again, as I mentioned last Saturday during the live stream. Yeah, I mentioned, yeah, looking at the euro, this was a nice zone. On Saturday, I mentioned that I was looking for more upside on the euro dollar and weakness on the dollar index. That has occurred by now. Not exactly the way I wanted to move on Monday. I was looking for more continuation on Monday from an even to close already above these highs. However, price literally just spiked through as soon as you opened during the weekend. So no move for me. Price then went all the way down. Whatever. I didn't really got the moves that I wanted to see in order to for opportunity to go long. And then today, that's it. Price kind of reached one of the targets that I had. I was looking for euro dollar to get closer to this level, and from here for price to make a decision. I still see a little bit more downside on the dollar index, so I could see euro going a little bit higher still. It's going to be interesting how price is going to behave from somewhere in here, right? We reacted quite nicely from this when price reacted to the parity. I did miss the short in here because what I wanted or what I was looking for that day, I still remember it, on the 4th of October. I noticed this level and I wanted to see price doing something like this and then to drop. And this happens sometimes, right? So it was literally, I think all of you can see this clear supply level in there. And this is what I wanted. I spent all that day looking for that retracement to look for the sell. Because I was already biased to for the sell, and I was looking for price to fill all this space. That never happened. Price literally just dropped. Retraced in here, never really got there where I wanted, so no sell for me in that moment. And there you go. Price just reacted from there. Now, question mark is, am I going to expect price now to make this big move once again from this level, or just a small reaction and eventually going to see this level being broken and euro continue to the upside? That's a little bit of the question mark in here. I look for specific levels to trade. Even though I have my bias, and my bias was to look for the euro to go higher and to look for longs, I didn't really got the trade I wanted to look for. Even in here, I think this is just a fast move down and not really confirmation for there to look for the entry. This was a nice turn in there. But yeah, regardless, yes, my bias was to go long, but I didn't manage to get it. I've been a little bit busy these last two days, and I didn't really spend that much time in the market. So yeah, I never managed to go long, unfortunately. Even though that was my bias. And sometimes it happens like that, right? You may have your bias, but I'm not just going to look for an entry randomly in the middle of the price action of the zone. I'm going to wait for what I want to see in order to execute. I'm okay to see price going into the direction that I was expecting and not being able to participate. There's going to be more opportunities to participate. I'm okay with that at this point. Yeah, in the past I would be frustrated and so on and so forth. Now I'm okay with that. There's plenty of opportunities that in the next days to take. So yeah, that's the question mark for me, is should we expect price to go lower or not? In this regard, we did broke these lows in here. We did break these lows in there. This one, I can see where price reacted from there. It didn't really react from here, and which would be my ideal, which may leave still some space in here for the euro to eventually in the future to go and reverse. On dollar index, I still see a little bit more room to the downside, so that would lead me to maybe expect more room to the upside as well on the euro. We haven't had the reversal day this week. Usually it can occur on Tuesday or Wednesday. Maybe tomorrow we're going to have a little bit of a reversal day, a day to the downside. If we even look at the daily candle, how did it close? Yeah, even yesterday it's kind of a dodgy, but it closed to the upside. So maybe tomorrow we are going to have a little bit of a bearish candle. We'll see how it's going to happen. And don't forget, on Thursday we're going to have the ECB press conference, and in that regard it's going to be interesting to see where the euro is going to be. The previous ECB press conference, I think euro is basically dropped, every single one of them. So it's going to be interesting to see, and that's one something that I'll be paying attention to, where the euro is going to be by Thursday, and what kind of pressure levels do I have from the lows, and if there's any clearing goof that I could see in order to see where price wants to go next, what's direction that I will be trying to pay attention to. For example, one thing that we could notice if you look at the pound, fast move down is not a good confirmation to for an entry. Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, when price is moving quite fast, it's actually a great confirmation, because many people are going to be scared when they see a fast move. So at least of those traders, they are completely already out of the equation. So it's a great way for them to reverse when there is a strong move into one direction. So yeah, that's perfect. But then I want to see something else. I want to see some other situations to look for. You are a pattern trader, higher high, lower low, RSI confirmation trader. All right. Yeah. High, high. Okay. You are a reversal trader as well. You create a higher high, then you have a break of a low, and you look for the trade, right? You look for a short in there. Is that what you mean? Like you're going to be looking for the short on the retest of the high, kind of a double, in this case double top setup with some kind of RSI confirmation. I'm going to be looking straight away for the breakout setup in here. As soon as you break this low, you are kind of trying to join the move to downside. Am I saying this correctly? For example, on the pound that we have been talking about, we talked about how this moved towards here. We talked about this space that was up until this support resistance level, and price reacted from there, right? I was not 100% sure if this would be an engulf or not. So I would be open to the scenario that price may wanted to go a little bit down to react from the demand zone and not just from the SR. However, I wanted to see some breaks of levels, right? So, okay, this first reaction from here, it was quite great. However, we never broke this level, and I mentioned that on Saturday. This low actually respected precisely this demand in there. It never broke it. If it had broken this level, I'll be maybe looking for sales again at the highs, because it never did. At this point, I'll be concerned with still looking for sales as price was going higher. Another clue, it was this one, right? You have a clear demand zone in there. I think on the 4 hour it's even clear. It was 1 hour. I don't remember, 1 second. Yeah, on this 1 hour, 1 hour, 4 hour time frame, you can see it, right? You have the gap to the upside on the opening, and you have this clear wick. So this is a normal zone for price to react from and then to continue. I'll be just looking for sales, or expecting actually maybe price to continue to go down if this level had been broken. That never happened, so I'll just I'll be cautious. I'll stop looking for sales at this point on. And yeah, this is one of those scenarios, right? If I do want to see this level to be broken in order to look for sales, if this level is never broken, maybe you can actually start looking for longs. So this is how you can use that information as well. Yeah, you can see this little demand zone in there was a nice reaction. Yeah, yesterday it reacted from there at around 5:30 or something like that. And now it just broke the highs. So it did broke the highs now. So let's see what's going to happen next on the pound. So from here, let me just check a different time frame. could see maybe some reaction just above this high, just to collect. Price never really touched there yet. Around this 1.15105, kind of something like that. Maybe something in here, and then eventually to fill out this compression, and eventually it's going to take this high. So I wouldn't be surprised if eventually are going now to take out this high. For me, this could have been already actually an engulf to the upside. Break of this, it was just a question mark of where would price react from before maybe continuing, because this could be considered as a almost all of it is compressed. The price just took the high in here, which is normal. It reacted to downside, and now I think we are ready to resume the move to the upside. Where to, we'll see. This one maybe have been taken in there. We'll see. We'll see until where the pound wants to go to. I wouldn't be surprised if we do go there. Again, now, as you can see, so this is the new level of structure. At this point, this needs to be broken before even considering to look for any sales. I think price could just range like this and eventually resume to the upside and break it and maybe retest that zone that I mentioned. And then maybe there's some retracement to be had in there. So yeah, that could be a play for tomorrow. Unless we have just another strong bullish momentum to the upside, and then price may just continue non-stop going upwards. Yeah, so if we do analyze all this and try to find out where there are some fresh orders. Yeah, this is the one that I mentioned. There's maybe some fresh orders in there, which I'm going to actually adjust this. And then, yeah, there's maybe some orders in here as well that price can fake out this supply level going towards there and react for a bit. However, this one actually already broke that one. However, it reacted from that level. But yes, eventually, to see price going upwards, I wouldn't be surprised. So yeah, let's see what this pound is going to do. Daily analysis. I do daily analysis, but it's for a private company. Yeah, so it's not exactly don't really have access to it. I may create some kind of Discord group one day. At this point, it's not something that I'm going to be doing. To have more, to share, to have a good community in there. But yeah, in terms of live streams, I do one today on Tuesdays. It's more educational. If you want to ask anything about maybe the way I look at the market and so on, like I can do one episode like that. And then on Saturdays is where I go through all the assets that I go through, and we have it's almost a 2 hours live stream usually. Yeah, it's about 2 hours. It's at 12 p.m. UK time. So for you, I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. or something like that in the US. Yeah. But yeah, thank you, man. Thank you for asking it. Yeah, Tuesdays and Saturdays usually. I try to be active on Twitter sometimes, but I've been just busy these last few weeks. Yeah, we can give a little bit more extra tasks in the other side, so I'll be more active on Twitter in the meantime. Yeah, mostly that's it for now. That's usually where you can find me. Yeah. Yeah, this is pound, so moving upwards. Something. I could see maybe some sell opportunities on the euro yen. I'm curious about, so we fake out this high in here. I'm curious to see until where it goes. I like this approach that we are creating right now. This compression. On the bigger picture, this low actually reacted from a nice level. However, we left this demand behind, so eventually price to go here and maybe continue to go higher could be an option. So maybe to look for sales in there could be something interesting to look for. We have this week, so this is one of the weeks that that eventually price can fake out and go into that supply level. Yeah, hopefully it goes that to test those highs. We can look for a better sell. But yeah, I'm curious to see. I'm curious to see how price is going to behave somewhere in here. Maybe to look for a sell. Of course, be careful always with these yen pairs now. You never know when BOG is about to do something, so cautious with that one. And the Aussie, right? I mentioned that I was bullish as well on the Aussie last week after all these moves that we had. It was actually a quite good price action that they created in here. This is a nice accumulation zone. I was bullish since we created this break of a high in there. And since we actually respected, so we broke the high and then we respected the low. That for me was a really bullish momentum. We had another confirmation up to the upside, and price just literally came all the way down to respect the demand. And of course, they will fake out something in there. So yeah, I'm a little bit bullish in here. Let's see until where. Let's see if we manage to get closer to this level. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen in there. Yeah, let's leave bigger. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. For now, it needs to if by any chance if one's about to go down a little bit further down, it needs to break this demand zone. Otherwise, if you just keep respecting it and maybe start making some kind of a compression move in here. So let's see what's going to happen in this Aussie. Yep. And then dollar CAD was the missing trade that I'm a little bit upset that I didn't see it. One of the guys took it. He took it exactly like I would taken it. It was a great trade from one of the guys. Yeah, we have this trend line. Beautiful compression. Price is respecting a nice level on the left side. Just fake out this high. And then we break this low. If you are not even sure yet at this point, as soon as it breaks the second, we'll just go short. And that was amazing. We have all this compression. We had already broken all this low, so there was a space to go down. All this beautiful compression in there. Yeah, if you are short in there, if you manage to maybe take some profit already from here, you can even for sure re-enter a second position on the retrace of this supply level. Yeah, that could have been a good second entry or even the first entry to look for the trade. Yeah, again, the same way that I was bearish on the dollar index, I was still bearish now here on the dollar CAD. Yeah, and Faden, that's for you as well. We both missed it, and you even predicted this little zone in there, so that's a double reward for you. On the dollar CAD. Oh my god. Oh god. Yeah. Please share your price action now. Yeah. I'll try to. Yeah, I'll try to do. I'm already doing like all these live streams that I'm doing is already to provide. Yeah, it's just to give back to the community, to be honest. Not getting anything from it. Yeah. Like in terms of proper analysis, usually on Tuesday I also kind of do some analysis. But on Saturday is the one that you can get most of it. Where you can actually, because I do it on a higher time frame, kind of 4 hours, 1 hour, something like that. Like and it more often than not, it actually kind of plays out as predicted, at least some part of it. So yeah, if you start joining me on Saturdays, that's great, and you can get some good ideas maybe of key zones that can work out. You can mention the CPI. Like I've been predicting some kind of tops and bottoms for a while, and just since I started this live stream. Yeah. For example, the lower low on the euro, it was predicted even 3 months ago. Even where the dollar yen reacted from now, I marked 3 or 4 zones that I'll be interested in. This was one of them. Price just dropped. Yeah, there are a few levels like that I've been mentioning during these last 6 months already, right? I started 5 months, because I started the live streams in May. It has been almost more than 5 months. Time flies. You don't need join permission. It's free. It's on stream. I will announce it. Like I always share the stream the day before for the live, so you're going to see it as well. You just need to just set up the notification, and you for sure are going to get it. It's Saturday at 12 p.m. UK time. Yeah, you'll get it as I'll share it. And if you get benefits, man, just the way to pay me back is just share with any friends that you may know that they like trading as well, and maybe you can help me to grow my channel. Yeah, it's just doing streams. It's kind of hard to grow it. I should be doing more small content as well to help me to grow the channel, but it takes time. So yeah. Yeah, thank you, Jeff. Thank you for thank you for joining the stream. I will kind of pause it for now. It's been almost 1 hour at this point, and I still have my daily report card to do. Even though I didn't open any trades, I need to do it. Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah, so looking forward to carry on seeing you on the streams. Yeah. Join me on Saturday and so on. Thank you, man. All right. Yeah, that's it for today. Benfica is going to play against Juventus in 1 hour, so I'm looking forward for the match as well. We are almost passing through the group stages in the Champions League, so we are playing well this season. Thank you. All right, enjoy your evening, guys. Enjoy your weekend, the rest of the week. I will see you guys Saturday. Yeah, thank you so much. See you next time. Obrigado.